Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast, Pop Culture in the Dark, the best late night pop culture fandom podcast in the entire galaxy. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
I can't hear you three.
Fantastic.
Is your mic muted?
Um,
I think your mic might be a little off, Eric. I'm not sure if you know that or not.
Let me check.
Sounds a little like echoey as
Fantastic.
normal. I normally
Can you
wouldn't
hear me
mention it, but yours usually just sounds
Echoey.
very good. So I just wanted to let you know.
Huh. How about now? Is it better?
Sounds about the same. It's not bad or anything. I was just letting you know.
Is it for everybody else too?
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
have.
don't hear any difference.
You don't hear an echo?
Oh,
No.
it's better now. It's better now.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
know what you did.
I mean, I've got my mixer here. Is it okay volume wise?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, wait, what am I doing? I checked.
Maybe
it.
I'm just crazy. I don't know.
It did. So the weird thing is, it did switch over to the USB on this. So I had to switch it back over to. What is that noise? It sounds like a spring-loaded rifle or something.
It's probably my headphones because I was putting them on.
Oh, yeah. It switched over to the USB, so I had to switch it back over to the mixer. I don't know how that happened.
Gotcha.
So, but let's see. Does this work? All right. Yeah, I think it's back to this. If it starts doing it again, just let me know.
Oh, you got your arm. Off
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mic.
That might have been what caused the microphone to, because I had to unplug it and plug it back in when I put the new arm on. So maybe that's what did it. We'll see.
I also noticed that if you have both of the connectors connected, they can switch between them. So
That's what I did that because the LED won't light up without the USB plug. So, and you can see the back of mine, so it's annoying to me. Otherwise, anyway, so what we're gonna do tonight is I don't really have much of a. There wasn't a lot of news today, so there wasn't a lot of news yesterday either. So I don't have a lot of stuff planned. I know that Jake wanted to do like a show and tell thing. So we might save that towards the end. This might be a shorter stream, but you never know. It depends on what the chat ends up doing. I do have a few things bookmarked, but primarily I want to talk about a spoiler-free Fantastic Four thing. So if you haven't seen it, chat, don't worry. The rules are if it wasn't shown in trailers or talked about in interviews, we don't talk about it here. So that is my rule with a non-spoiler
Mr. Hatman.
I did notice that. Now on Monday, I believe that Ronan and Glimmer is going to join us for a spoiler review chat of Fantastic Four. So that gives everybody an opportunity to see it. I think Jake sees it on Monday night, so that'll also give him a chance to see the movie. But I'm going to see it again if I can get tickets. I'll probably see it again between now and Monday, like I did with Superman. More on that in a bit. I have a few things bookmarked, so we'll go through that. We do have a super chat. Let's see what the super chat says here. From Naruto, $5 super chat. We're only doing 5 super chats tonight, guys. So 5 to get to the goal. Eric, Invincible Versus dropped a new trailer today, revealing a new character that's going to make you very happy. If it is Battle Beast, I'm going to be extremely happy. That's literally my favorite character from Invincible. So that's the game, right? Invincible Versus? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll look that trailer up because we have time today to look at it. So we'll look for that, and I'll if it's Battle Beast, I'm gonna be so fucking happy. I swear I will. All right, so I do have a little outline over here. Jake's he hasn't seen it, so him being here or not being here doesn't really matter because he hasn't seen the movie. So I want to go through a little bit of this, but before we get into all of my detailed stuff, both of you have seen the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And what is before we just give me a general idea of your thoughts on the film before we get into all the little details and stuff. Like, what did you think of it just in general?
I just got back a couple hours ago. I'm going to have to see it again to get my full thoughts because I definitely, I needed to do it a second time. But I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with this. It does a lot. There's a lot of elements at play. Most of it works. Some of it doesn't. There's a couple of things where I think, maybe could be tightened up here and there. But I think, in general, I think this feels like a very special movie. It feels like a movie made with a lot of heart, a lot of soul. Just like Superman, it feels like it's a comic book come to life in many ways. And I think many people are going to enjoy it. I think my criticisms are more so from like not a critic standpoint, but like a more critical, like, this could have been, very nitpicky stuff. Like maybe this could have been blah, 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 blah. But I think at least most people here, I think they're going to love this movie. I think there's a lot to love here.
Okay. 3Dub, what are your general thoughts?
Before
you speak, no spoilers, okay?
I know.
You're not Lance.
I was genuinely impressed, actually, because throughout, this is the Fantastic Four that I've been wanting since, ever. Like, we had a full-blown Galactus. We had Heart in the, Fantastic Four. We had, trying to, say it without, being vague. There was a lot of family dynamic I really enjoyed. For once in my long history of watching comic book movies, I have never seen a movie without literally zero cringe. I was so immersed into it. I did not want to turn my head.
Yeah. I think that this movie, at least to some degree, had a fresh take on what Marvel humor is, if that makes any sense. I feel like I think that there was a level like James Gunn, I believe. Okay, so there's a progression of Marvel humor for me. You had the Joss Whedon Marvel humor that became the big thing in the Avengers movies. Before that, you had the Jon Favreau type stuff, the more tongue-in-cheek stuff. And then Joss Whedon came along and created what people call the Marvel humor. And then that got perfected a little bit with the James Gunn vibe. So then you have the James Gunn stuff, and then the Taika Waititi, which one upped James Gunn's humor, and then Marvel got into the cycle of we have to keep going further and further and further because you can't just tell the same jokes over and over. You have to try and be more creative with it, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes I think the extreme humor works for Marvel. You look at something like She-Hulk. If you go into that show knowing that it's supposed to be a sitcom, that makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't work. I think Thor: Love and Thunder is a perfect example of the Marvel humor not working with Marvel. Yeah. So I like that they did a different take on what we can expect from Marvel jokes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Darren.
I was just gonna say, also, those jokes would not work in a movie like this because it has a tone that would contrast what that kind of humor would typically do, and we've seen that. I'd even argue part of Superman kind of struggles with that, where sometimes it has a tone and the jokes kind of unset the tone that they're trying to aim for. So I definitely think that tone of humor would not have worked in this movie. I think would have lessened my enjoyment of it by a good amount.
I would actually agree with this. I think it is the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever had, next to The Incredibles, which was the best Fantastic Four movie we'd ever had with the other ones. There's a lot to talk about. Let me go over my notes here first. So this is it's the beginning of Phase 6. It takes place on another Earth in the timeline, in the branch timeline that we have in the Marvel Universe. Matt Shakman is the director. And it's a retro-futuristic, how do I put this? It's retro-futuristic, but it's also timely. It's in a specific time. So it's not just 2025, but Jetsons. It's literally this time period, and it's retro-futuristic. It's so well done in the movie that I almost forget that we're in another time.
Yeah, it's so seamless.
Yeah, it works perfectly. And this is one of the things that I think benefited this movie in a way that I think helped make it a successful film, because I do think it's a very successful movie. I think that whatever they shot out to do, I think they exceeded their expectations, in my opinion. But this goes to show why I think the Fantastic Four work better in their own element, which is that old school like 1950s, 1960s vibe. You have to start there and then move from there to other places. Because if you would have introduced the Fantastic Four, and I said this before I even saw the movie, if you would have introduced the Fantastic Four doing what they're doing in this movie in an Avengers world where we've already had Thanos snapping people out of existence and all these other things happening, they wouldn't have felt as special in a world where we already have alien invasions and things like that. It needed to be its own place and its own time. Yeah. And this also goes to show why in the comic book world, stories are sometimes separated and there's no overlap, because you kind of need those characters to go through those things without other people being present.
Yeah.
Because this is a similar situation to like the X-Men movies. This is a team of superheroes that exist on a world where they're the only superheroes. Mm-hmm. There's no one else. And you're dealing with these threats that, because we see several, again, no spoilers, but we see several threats in the movie that have to be dealt with, and we get to see them function as a team. And I think that that's something that we would not get in the main MCU continuity. So I appreciated that from this film. Let's see. So it's 828, I believe, is the Earth they're on. I go ahead, 3Dub.
I did like the call to the creator of Fantastic Four, Jack Kirby. Like that 828 was his birthday.
Oh yeah. I also think that when people start talking about this and they start telling people you don't, and I honestly I mean this, like if people have not been watching recent Marvel movies, you don't need to know anything about anything to watch this movie. No. It is literally everything you need to know is contained in this film.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that's necessary. It is when Kevin Feige said, what was a quote that it's the first standalone movie they've done in a long time or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily true. We've had Guardians was kind of a standalone movie. There was other movies that felt standalone, but this one is one that literally has no connection whatsoever to anything else.
I do kind of get what he's saying now, just because it's like it is the only MCU movie where there's no other movies in their universe going on at the same time, right? Like even like Deadpool and Wolverine has an entire franchise of other stuff. So like I do kind of get what he's going at, even though that is factually incorrect, or like maybe he's just using the phrase standalone wrong. But I get where he's getting at.
Shang-Chi was not. They included a character from Iron Man. So that wasn't a standalone.
I will say, like, well, there is a thread. It's just very, 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 very like nonchalant. Like you would have to know the actor to know the thread. Basically,
I don't count that kind of stuff. I would count storylines.
What I was trying to say is like Ben Grimm.
Don't spoil anything.
No, not acting, not spoiling. Ben Grimm, the actor, was also in Punisher, the series.
Oh yeah. But
and which is tied to the MCU. So
yeah, I still don't count. I wouldn't count.
It's a thin thread, but still, there's a thread.
What I mean by that is that you literally don't have to watch anything prior to, like, if you were walking down the street and this movie poster's up on the movie theater, you can walk in, buy a ticket, and never have to look at anything else. That's the thing that I'm saying.
Yeah.
And yes, movies like Shang-Chi, you could definitely watch that without knowing about the other character, but there is more about the other character that's included in that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Were you going to say something, Darren? I thought it looked like you were going to add on to it there.
Yeah, no. Like, I will say, like, except for one thing that I won't get into, can kind of just, you're 100% right. Like, you can just watch this where, like, even stuff like Iron Man, it feels like it is setting up an entire world. It is doing all this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's, they're building these foundations.
This one doesn't even feel like it's setting up a world. It just feels like it's telling a story to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I call it. Okay, so we have a couple super chats here. Let's take a look at these. So Maddie with a $4.99 super chat. Movie was good. It had what I expected while also not what I expected. Hot take. I think this movie was overhyped, but still good. I don't know. I personally wouldn't use overhyped. I don't think the movie was overhyped. I think there's a lot of people on social media that were talking about their personal takes on it. When I think of overhyped, I think like the studio going out and purposely like posting Rotten Tomato scores and saying it's the best thing since Dark Knight and all that. Like, I don't think that this movie was doing all of that. I mean, for me personally, but I mean, some people might feel differently about it.
I feel like it got less promotion than Superman.
It did. I do think it did get less promotion than Superman.
So I don't think it was hyped up as
I'd say it was a little overhyped. I guess more from like the reviews and from my taste only. Like, there was like, this movie saves Marvel. This is one of Marvel Cinematic Universe's best movies. I don't agree with that statement. To me, I don't think that's a spoiler to say like where it lands for me. Like, it's not among my favorite MCU movies of all time, but it is in the upper half, I guess I'd say. Like, I don't think this is a movie that like breaks incredibly new grounds, right? Like, I think it tells a really good story, but I didn't exit being like, holy shit, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like, no, it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to either. Like I'm not saying it has to break new ground. I'm not saying it has to do all these crazy new things to be a good movie. But I do think people were trying to sell that as it is, as like, this is the best movie of Phase like since Endgame.
Yeah, I would say that this movie, I would argue that this movie did a lot of things that we haven't seen in Marvel before, but we'll get to those when we get through this. I think there's a lot of things that I saw in this movie that were very specifically done to break the Marvel formula. So
I agree.
For me personally, but again, I don't know, overhyped really is a personal thing. Like, you have to feel that in yourself. You know what I mean? And just, I don't think it was, but I purposely avoided a lot of the cringe interviews. The only one that I really watched was the one we watched on Monday. So I haven't really watched anything else since then. Naruto here with the $5 super chat. Neurotic spent his review bashing the movie and then praising it, and then went back and forth for like 20 minutes. I stopped halfway and started spoiling. I don't typically do this because I think that movies are very subjective. I would find it very difficult, even if I were somebody that was being cynical, to come up with a lot of complaints about this film. I mean, the movie is well done. If you don't like the characters, or you don't like superhero movies, or maybe you don't like the director, like, if there's things you don't like about the production of the film, that's fine. But the movie itself doesn't commit any major sins. It's like, from start to finish, the movie is entertaining. There's a couple of dips with some talking here and there in the second act and in the third act, but overall, I think the movie keeps chugging right along, sort of like Superman. I don't feel like there was a lot of weight on the film that brought it down. I will vaguely talk about my thoughts on that without spoiling, but thank you, Naruto. Sheldor with the $1 super chat, just contributing. Thank you, Sheldor. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see, where's my notes over here? All right, so let's talk about the style of the film, because it is a retro futuristic film. One of the things I did notice was the teal orange palette that the movie had going on, which did make it feel sort of old timey, which I thought was a really cool way for them to grade the film. And when we get to see, without spoilers, when we get to see everything that is Galactus, the Kirby stuff is in your face. Like, the Jack Kirby style is everywhere in that. And it was so good to see, because most of the, like, even DC stuff has tried to steer away from Jack Kirby, because it is almost it's hard to translate into live action. So they've tried to like break away from it. I think the Eternals tried to lean into it a little bit, not as successful. I don't think is this. I think Galactus's design and the look of everything in his world, everything surrounding him in terms of his technology and everything, is very Jack Kirby, in my opinion. I love the way the film looked. It looked like an older movie, but it was well done. Look, I want to, and you guys can disagree with me if you want, but the VFX were extremely polished from the trailers. Like, everything looked really nice to me. There was a couple of wonky moments with green screen stuff, especially in the car and things like that. But none of that took me out of the movie. I didn't feel like it was breaking my enjoyment of the film.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, some people probably won't. But I think whenever you're dealing with movies like this, you're gonna have moments where they just can't fix something. It's just, that's the way it is. And I think there's a couple of those in it. But overall, I would say the special effects are leaps and bounds better than they were from that first trailer.
And Shia LaBeouf looked perfect. Like her CGI just like shined.
I did see some people trying to compare it. Look, I love the Fantastic Four from those first, the second, the 2007 Fantastic Four movie. But to say that looks better than what we got in this movie is ridiculous. Like, there's just no way. There's no way. People are saying that because they're trying to get clout on the internet and get clicks or whatever. It's just not.
You think a Stormcloud is better than Galactus?
We're going to talk more about Shia LaBeouf as a character here in a few minutes, but visually, if we're talking about just visually, perfect. I have no complaints about her design whatsoever. I think she looked great in the movie.
Design, I think, looked great, and I think most of it she looks totally fine. There were a couple shots here and there where I was like, oh, maybe that could have took a couple passes. But again, I'm also not a professional in like VFX or like I'm not being like it looked horrible. But there were some shots to me personally that took me out a little bit. There's some things in the third act which I won't get into obviously, but there were a couple of things I was like, oh, there was I had a couple of those kind of moments, but like no, like I think as a whole, and I'm kind of impressed because they filmed this movie very quickly. Like this has been almost a year. It's really like they kind of filmed and got this out in like a year's time. Yeah. So I think with that amount of time, they didn't have very much time to do all the special effects and stuff like that. So I think in that regard, it looked pretty good.
I would agree with this, Nate. There's moments where it's almost like a horror movie with Shia LaBeouf. Like there really is. All right, so another thing I want to mention is the not having origin story. So this is another movie where we don't really get like a full-on origin story.
Oh, sort of.
No, there's no origin story.
We know what they have. We know what they were at before they got on.
But that doesn't make it an origin story.
Well, origin story. We know what happened. They went up.
But 3Dub, that's not an origin story.
We didn't see it, but
that's still an origin story. Listen to me. An origin story is when the movie revolves around the origin of a character.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not telling somebody what happened is not an origin story. So when we're watching the movie, they do recap how they got their powers, and they take us through several years of them, being in this time period. Yeah. But they don't actually spend time like like straight up again. Very light on spoilers here. You're not going to go in and see all of the stuff you saw in the previous Fantastic Four movies. They're going to drop you in to a team that already is. Think of Superman. They're going to drop you into a team that is already out doing things, and then you're going to get caught up throughout the movie with like dialogue. I actually prefer this now. I think this is the way we should be doing superhero movies, unless you absolutely have to tell an origin story. I think some of these like characters, these legendary characters where we know their origin story, we know how they got their powers. You don't have to spend 2 hours showing us the struggle of them learning how to use their powers. I think we're beyond that. For me anyway, personally. That's just my personal opinion.
I pretty much assume like an origin story is basically like how they became who they are now. Like basically we were told like how they got their powers, but without actually showing us. Kind of like how Peter, basically said that he got bit by a spider.
Right. But that's not right. But that's not an origin story.
No, I mean like not like visually, not like visually, like seeing him get bit by a spider and struggling how to cope with that. Like, but more like a fast-paced. Here's a glimpse at it. Move on. Kind of like how like let me think of an example. Like Iron Man becoming Iron Man was an origin story.
Yes, the first Iron Man movie was an origin story.
Like basically visual origin story where like Guardian not Star-Lord. Thinking of a better one. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a good example because we basically just drop her in when she already has her powers, and then we get flashbacks of her origin
throughout the course of the film.
Which isn't an origin story.
Right. So exactly. So an origin story is the origin of the character. So seeing them prior to having powers, getting their powers, learning how to use their powers. That would be an origin story. And I'm saying that in the context of a superhero, not like you can do an origin story of a character that isn't a superhero and you still have to like follow them on their hero's journey or whatever. Anyway, go ahead, Darren, what were you going to say?
Yeah, like I was a little... I guess I was a little sad when they first said that they don't need an origin story for like Fantastic Four and stuff like that, because I don't think Fantastic Four is like Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, where like everyone knows the origin, right? But I do think this was the best way to do it. I think both Superman and Fantastic Four have the same mindset where it's like we really want to tell these stories, but we don't want to have to start from scratch. We don't want to have to start from day one. I think both stories incredibly benefit from that, and I think people who are craving that will be satisfied as well. Like I think it meets that nice happy medium.
So I want to point out, this is the first thing I want to mention that sort of breaks Marvel's mold a little bit, and that is we enter the world where these characters are extremely loved by the entire world. Like they have toys, they have cartoons, they have all these things going for them. It's already been established they're seen as like the bastions of hope for this planet, like saving them from all kinds of things and stuff like that. I love that that's where we get dropped in the movie. You know what I mean? And that's what this is exactly what we were told prior to the movie coming out, is that we were going to get dropped into their world. It's not going to be an origin story. And after seeing Superman and Fantastic Four, I just like how that's sort of dismantling what we've had in the past. Because the issue, I think, like if you look at a movie like Thunderbolts, we talked about this. After we came out of Fantastic Four, we sat around and had some drinks and talked about like the previous couple of movies we've had this year. And the more I think about it, the more I believe Thunderbolts would have done much better if they just would have called themselves New Avengers from the beginning. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
I feel like that was one of those things where the marketing was fun for a moment, but then in hindsight, which I don't like to do, but in hindsight, I think they probably would have made a lot more on that movie had they just called it the New Avengers from the beginning. And
financially, yes.
Yeah, I think it would have been better off. I don't know if more people would have been happy with the film. Like I don't think it would have changed opinions about the quality of the film, but from a marketing standpoint, I think that's a problem, you know?
But then we would have ran into this issue of like, why is Ghost an Avenger? Why is Taskmaster an Avenger? Like I think you would have had a lot of those people being like, they ruined the Avengers name by putting, like I think you would have had a lot of that.
I just think it would. I think from a marketing standpoint, outside of that sort of discussion, I think it would have actually probably helped the movie.
It would have done better. Yeah,
for sure. All right, we have Jake in the house, who is wearing his X-Men hat and Fantastic Four shirt. So
he's cheating again. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're seeing it on Monday, right?
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Oh wow! Okay, so you're seeing it sooner. So
that's Omega that's singing on Monday.
Oh, okay,
so when Cyclops showed up and killed Reed Richards, and Beast came up in here, and Rogue came up in here, and that was crazy.
That was real crazy.
When they gave a shout out,
when they gave a shout out to X-Men 97, I was like, wow, that's breaking the fourth wall.
Fuck yeah, they did.
And then Batman showed up and killed Silver Surfer.
I don't think there was any big San Diego Comic-Con news today. I think we're going to get all the big stuff tomorrow and Saturday.
And then Crypto pissed on Johnny Storm and made him blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was, like,
let's talk a little bit about the pacing of the movie. And see what people think about that. So this is another thing where I think they sort of broke the expectations of Marvel movies. They didn't waste a lot of time in segues between scenes. And I know some people may not appreciate that, but there's a lot of times where a scene will end and they want you to use your brain and assume how it got to the next scene without needing to have your hand held. And this happens a couple times. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that's unlike Captain America Brave New World, where you've already put together what happens in a scene and they tell you multiple times later at more than one occasion.
Everything we've discussed, I won't say everything, almost everything we discussed about this movie was wrong. Like there's so many things that happened in this movie that I was completely wrong about. So
hey, remember when that happened in Infinity War?
Yeah. No, this one they did a really good job of like watch this hand while the other hand does something. That's kind of what they did with the trailer.
I liked how like natural it felt too, like when they were just talking and just out of nowhere something happens and they go like, basically turn.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like it felt very different from a typical Marvel movie or a DC movie for that matter. It didn't feel like that. So like you would have times where how can I do like, okay, so a character is in the middle of something and something would happen and then they would show up in the next scene and you're like, oh shit, they just did this. This is what they did, right? They went and did this instead. So it's like, it doesn't take your intelligence for granted. It wants you to stay, it doesn't bore you with all the in the middle stuff, which is what I was really worried about. They take that out of it. So they really try and pack so much into the hour and 55 minutes of this movie that it feels longer than an hour and 55 minutes, but not in the way that it drags on. For me, it felt like it was a proper like 2 hour and 15-minute movie.
I honestly like lost track of time and thought it was like basically
there's only one character that I have any real criticisms of, and I will talk about it here without spoiling anything. And then there's another character that I think was the best iteration of the character we've ever fucking had.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that in a second.
I think I just think like while you're on the pacing of a bit.
Yeah, go for it.
I think that was where my main thing kind of came in. I don't think this is a spoiler. It's a very fast movie, like you said. It's very, very snappy.
It is, yeah. Sometimes
a bit too fast for my liking, and I do think sometimes it feels a little disjointed. And I think, it's already like a 2 hour movie. Like I'm not saying, I actually don't even think it's their fault because I do think this is the best version of this movie they could have made.
Yeah.
But it is still a little bit of an issue for me where I kind of wish we could spend a little bit more time on some of the stuff, flesh out some of these things, especially for one specific character, which I think you're also thinking of.
I have a feeling unless
this movie
155.
Yeah, it's right under 2 hours.
I think unless someone wasn't paying attention, I think everybody's going to name the same character that didn't get the proper like story in the movie.
Yeah, my only like warning is don't go to the bathroom. You'll miss something.
You will 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely very snappy, and sometimes it like you have a hard time telling what's the first act, the second act, and the third act. It's kind of just like all kind of mushed together, which again isn't really a bad thing. Like I'm not angry about it because again, I do think this is probably the best they could have done with the time that they had, because this movie has a lot to do. Like that's not like even spoilers, but like they have to create an entirely new world. You're introducing these characters. Galactus, we all know from the trailers, a big concept character. Some of the other characters that are introduced are big stuff. So again, it's not their fault. I think they did the best they could. To the fact that we heard in like interviews this week, a whole character had to be cut. A big actor had to be cut from the movie because of time.
I think they wanted it under 2 hours, and that character would have put it over 2, and I don't think there was any value. Unfortunately, I don't think there was any value in that storyline in this movie, to be honest. So
now that we've seen it, I think it was the right choice.
It was the right call, unfortunately. Thanks for the super sticker, Draga, little dancing humming lemon. Appreciate it. $5 super sticker. We also had a comment here, a super chat, which we've met the goal already. Thank you, Cody. $5 super chat. Comic stands have a weird fascination with this movie setting up a new MCU post Secret Wars. I'm actually jumping to the end here. This makes me really excited for like where we're going with the MCU, because I think this shows me that there is a focus in where they're taking things. There's also a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene. I would implore you, if you haven't seen this movie yet, stay the fuck off of Twitter, stay the fuck off of TikTok until you see the movie. FYI, like literally no reason at all to get spoiled on these things, because it is worth the price of admission for that mid-credit scene.
I'm seeing it in like 13 hours, so...
The Pedro Pascal twerking scene was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric, did you see what I sent you in Discord?
There were some screaming goats.
No, not yet.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right. So let's see here. I thought you were gonna get me to share something. Normally you're like, hey, look at this picture. Okay, so
don't worry, I'll send the ass pictures later.
All right, so so I guess we should just get into some of the individual characters. Paige had a cameo. He was dancing the thong song. Damn it, Jasmine! Shouldn't have spoiled that. All right, so let's jump into each individual character now. Pedro Pascal. I know a lot of people did not want to see him in this role. I'm not the biggest Pedro Pascal fan. Like, I don't think he's great in everything that he's been in. I think there's been some stuff like I didn't like him, even though Wonder Woman 84, he was probably one of the better elements. I don't think it was one of his best roles.
No, because they took the opportunity to make him into a Trump figure.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I think he absolutely nails Reed Richards in this movie. I have no complaints about his read, and the complaints about the scene where he's talking about like speaking to Galactus about saving the Earth and everything, and people are like, he's supposed to be really smart, and why didn't he do this, that, and the other? It takes place in the movie after something very specific that makes him very shaken up. So that's why that scene feels that way. That's why I swear to God, if people don't stop trying to dissect trailers like they're the whole fucking movie, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, it's fine to go through a trailer and speculate on what could be happening, but to act like it is indicative of the whole movie or representative of the whole movie is so weird.
There's like 5 scenes that I can remember that aren't actually in the movie, like from the trailer.
Yeah, there's quite a few missing.
By the way, that fucking Little Caesars commercial wasn't in the movie. After everybody was saying, "Oh, this is going to be awful," it wasn't there. The creature didn't pick up a Little Caesars delivery person. That didn't happen in the movie.
It's almost like a marketing campaign is external from the movie.
Yeah. I think he did a great job, and I think he was the absolute right choice for this character now that I've seen it. And I see him. And by the way, also all the rumors about him not being the leader of the team was bullshit as well. Like, it's very clear that everyone in the team contributes to something. It's not one individual person. As the leader of the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? I feel like even in without any spoilers, I feel like even by the end of the movie, everything that happens in a way that feels like everyone has participated in it in one way or another.
Yes. There feels like there's 3 leads and like 1 supporting character, I guess.
There is. We'll get to him in a second. Any thoughts on Pedro before we move on to...
If it's who I think it is, then that's going to be unfortunate.
It's Herbie. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, Herbie, unfortunately. Well. Any thoughts on Pedro? Any disagreements with me?
I really liked his visual effects where his...
the stretching.
Yeah, it feels like they like made an upgrade to the past iterations.
You know why though? Because I think when I was watching it, I was thinking like, why does this look good to me compared to like other times? It looked like a rubber band. That was why.
It snaps back.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it didn't look like the old one where it stretches and then it's really slow. It was like a rubber band the way it worked, and that's one of the things I really liked about it.
Yeah, Ian Gruffin's one didn't look like it had. I mean, yes, it was elastic, but it didn't look like there was hardly any body structure there.
Yeah, his was like putty, right? And
basically, it could transform into like a fire hydrant and stuff like that.
My chair almost fell backward.
Yeah, I definitely think it's some of the best stretching we've seen in live action. Maybe next to the One Piece live action we got.
That was also really good. Yeah,
that one was also really. I actually argue maybe a bit better than this one.
Yeah,
I think we got like
better than Hartley Sawyer.
Oh no,
I think they.
I thought his was pretty good. Like for CW budget, I actually thought it looked pretty good. Like, you know, for like what they had.
I think they had like a stepping stone with Mr. Fantastic when they tested the Mr. Fantastic's power in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, where they used John as Mr. Fantastic, where basically he had this similar kind of like movement, but not exactly. But I think that was like the template.
They were only doing it one time.
I mean, they were testing it, so they know what they wanted with him.
Well, that's a good question, actually, 3Dubs, is like, now that we've seen the movie, and obviously no spoilers, of course, could we have seen John playing this version?
No.
I don't know.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The problem for me is that the version that we saw from him worked in that movie because it came from a planet where he was part of a larger ecosystem.
Sure.
And I think that changed the way his character acted. This is a Reed Richards that's on a planet with no other superheroes.
Yeah.
So I think it makes him a little bit different in that regard. And I think I think Pedro did that very well. So I like that. And again, the rubber bandy way that he stretched was definitely much better than what I expected.
I definitely don't agree that like he couldn't have done it, because I think John could have. But I'm really grateful we got Pedro, because I do think he plays.
He could have done it with a different cast, because I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think he could have done it with the. I wouldn't see the chemistry.
Well,
between
yeah,
Vanessa.
yeah.
Like
Like
a lot of people, whenever he was under the Reed Richards fan cast for the longest time, by extension of that, people would go, "Oh, get his wife Emily Blunt for Sue Storm." It's like
probably
okay,
yeah.
But
I think that his working with her has kind of like almost been a typecasting thing that I think is unfortunate, for like husband-wife scenarios. All right, let's talk about Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Absolutely amazing. I think she did a great job. I do think that some of the complaints about her being assertive, comparing that to being like girl bossy or whatever people were saying about her, it's a little weird because she's one woman on a team full of men. Of course she's gonna have to speak up and be assertive, because otherwise she's gonna get overlooked in this group.
Yeah.
Like that's just the reality of it. So she represents herself as the core of the team. She is the emotional center of the team.
She's the glue.
Yeah,
she's the shield.
It holds everybody together. She's the one that has all the connections to everybody in a way that keeps them all sort of grounded.
No nosebleeds.
Yeah, no.
No naked stripping that they forced her to
Right. None of that.
God.
I don't want to say it.
But, I mean, the thing is that I think she did a great job, and I want to talk more about her, but her stuff specifically is very spoilery.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to talk more about her on Monday.
I will say, as her powers are invisible, she shined in this movie. Like she was the spotlight for me.
I think they were. So by the way, in the comics, I don't think people realize that Sue Storm is probably one of the most powerful characters in terms of like what her powers can do. Because it's not just turning invisible. There's like the force field aspect, what she can do to people, because she can choke you and you can't do anything about it. Like
she can generate a force field inside someone's body and expand it until they explode.
Right. There's all kinds of crazy things she can
eavesdrop and pop out of nowhere.
She's an extremely powerful character. So of course she's going to be used in a lot of things. Also, I think it's weird to complain that Sue on a team of 4 characters is getting any sort of like main storyline when she is one of the main fucking characters. Like that's a dumb argument. Like what are we talking about here?
No one in the Fantastic Four is a side character. They all have equal importance.
Yeah.
They should. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. All right, let's talk about Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm. Easily best Johnny Storm we've ever had. Ever.
People owe him an apology.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because when I never got the criticisms. Like when that casting came out, floods of people are like, no, this is the worst thing they could have done. Oh my god. I was like,
Stranger Things guy can't be Johnny Storm.
Because he's a good actor. Like they weren't going to have Eddie be Johnny. Like if that's the case, sure, right? But that's not Joseph Quinn. That's not who he is, right? I think he's. I do agree. I think he's the best version. Also, his comments about being a womanizer in that article that people kept trying to like railroad him with. Literally, it means that he's not someone that uses and abuses women. That's that's different from being a playboy or being someone that's a pretty boy or whatever.
Well,
it's not the same thing.
He's basically a hothead, but then they said not a womanizer, and people would try to equate those two terms. Hothead does not equate to womanizer.
And everything that makes Johnny Storm is present in this version. This is literally the most comic booky Johnny Storm we've ever had. And the only difference is he doesn't treat women like shit. But that's not a core value of Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
I would say he's
hold on, one second. It is. Look up womanizer. It is a man that sleeps with a lot of women and then tosses them aside or treats them like objects. That is the definition of a womanizer. So
Barry made a whole song about it.
Right. So you can be a playboy. You can be somebody that goes after women. You know what I mean? A ladies' man kind of thing, and not be someone that treats women like that, which is what Johnny Storm
He
is.
felt like less of a womanizer and more like a chivalrous gentleman. Like he knows how to treat women. Like princesses.
Let me explain to you what this means in layman terms, because
Eric, I feel like you said the same thing, but with less words.
Yeah. So a man that sleeps around with a lot of women and then discards them, which is abusive. Doing that to a woman is abusive.
Yeah.
So without genuine emotional commitment means you do not stay with them.
The more you know.
Like literally, like why do I have to explain this like you're a 10-year-old? Like it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Don't treat women like objects. Respect them. You should be doing that to everyone. Treat everyone with respect.
And this is also, like, again, I mean, some trailers. This is an established team. They've been doing this for a couple years. He could have started off a little, flaky, and now he's grown up. He's evolved, and like, there's clearly a history with him that they dive into, in this movie. And I think. Do
you see the comment, Jake?
Yep.
I'm gonna only address you one more time because we're trying to get through this. If you are sleeping with someone for the sole use of having sex with them and then discarding them, that is abuse.
Yeah.
Abuse is not exclusive.
You think abuse is beating somebody up?
Abuse is not.
That's not it.
There's a lot of different kinds of abuse.
Abuse is not exclusive to physical form.
God, man, like I feel like just people come in here in such bad faith. Like it's such bad faith. All right, hold on for a second.
It's not very punk rock of them, is it?
No, not at all. 499 super chat from Matt. He says they nailed Reed's character. Pedro was great. Don't know where all the Pedro hate has come from. I think people just think he's in everything, and the reality is he's got a good agent that gets him booked in a lot of gigs.
Everyone's just losing their heads about Pedro, man.
Yeah. I get it. Some people don't like him. That's fine. Like, there's actors that I don't care for either. But I think judging what the work is going to be because you don't personally like them is, like, weird. I was not a huge fan of Hugh Jackman. I've never really liked Hugh Jackman. Like, he's never been an actor that I've connected with. But he did a great fucking job as Wolverine. You know what I mean? But that's just the reality of it. He won me over in Deadpool and Wolverine, though. By time Deadpool and Wolverine came out, I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm on the Hugh Jackman train. I'm late to the party. You still got a seat for me? Can I get on the train?
You remember the discourse?
Okay to have bad taste, Eric.
You remember the discourse around Silver Surfer being gender swapped and
whatnot? We're going to get to her in a second.
I basically snapped at my dad because of it. Okay. I was like, it's in the comics, dude.
Yeah. We're going to get to that in a second. But the thing is, to talk about that is also very spoilery. So we're going to have to save a lot of that for Monday as well. Cody here with the $5 super chat. A lot of the trailers showed the beginning of the movie and very little of the third half. Yes, I did notice that. Most of the stuff we saw in the trailers was in the first act of the movie, which I thought was really good. They did a really, really good job with that.
Works.
Yeah.
Well, good trailers at least. They show you cool stuff without giving everything away.
Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about the character that I think suffered the most, and that is Ben Grimm.
Damn it.
Unfortunately. Look, Ben Grimm looked amazing.
It's the character I'm looking the most. It's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
And what is it? Ebon Moss-Baccarin, is that his name? That played
Ebon Moss-Baccarin.
Yeah. Great job. I think
really good.
He was a really good Ben Grimm. And look, Ben Grimm in the movie did a great job of like this really strong, powerful character who's also like very caring and nurturing and close with everybody. And this is the Ben Grimm from the comics. It was like literally translated into live action. The only issue I had with Ben in this movie is everyone else, Johnny, Sue, Reed, all had these very important things that they were responsible for. And so that drove their plot throughout the movie. Ben did not. Ben had a side story that just never went anywhere.
I wonder if some things were cut with it.
It had to be.
There was elements that they were building towards. There was maybe not as important as the other characters, but they were building an arc for him, and it does kind of not go anywhere, unfortunately. But with that being said, I still think he's one of the stronger parts of the movie in terms of just like his personality. Like I love him as a character in this movie. I want to see more of him. So I wouldn't be like scared. I wouldn't be like, oh no, they ruined him. No, he's great. And excited to see more of him. I do hope in Fantastic Four 2, if they do a sequel, I hope he's a lot more of the focus.
Fantastic Four second steps.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what the full context is of that bit you see in the trailers.
Honestly, there's not a lot to spoil. Literally, he was given a side story that just didn't have a satisfying resolution to it.
That's fair. The scene of him that made me the most interested was the bit in the trailer where you see him pulling the boat. Like, I want to see what the full context is.
There's a lot of great scenes with him doing things that the Thing does, but his actual story is what suffered.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
He's my favorite member of the Fantastic Four.
He does look visually great stuff, personality, acting great. It's just his individual story that suffers.
I'm excited to see him in Secret Wars and to see like what dynamics. I'm sorry, Doomsday and like what dynamics.
Just skipping over a movie there.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see like who does he get paired with in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm definitely excited to see that.
I guess I didn't see the same thing you guys saw because I thought like they gave a hint at his like side story, but like not like full conclusion, but it felt like a step forward.
But that's the problem. Everybody else's story got a conclusion in the movie except for him. That's why I said it felt unresolved.
I felt like it was like open ended. Like it felt like
but that's what I mean. It's not a conclusion.
Well, I mean, but I'm like, I didn't have a problem with it, basically.
And some people won't. For me, I just felt like the story didn't get resolved to my satisfaction.
Yeah.
But I think all of the team members, all the Fantastic Four team members, and even Herbie, who was really funny in the movie, all of the team members were great in their individual roles. His individual story was a little lacking to me. I liked the story. I just wanted more. I wanted more from that story. Because they have a very well-known actress playing opposite of him, and I don't want to spoil who that is. I don't know if it's been put out in the news or whatever, but I don't want to spoil who that is. But I think she would have done a great job playing opposite him in this story they were telling, and it just never got there. To be fair, the movie, by the time we get to the third act, the movie is moving at like rocket speed. There's just not a lot of time to stop and do the story that they needed to do with him.
Can I compare him to Michael Clinkins?
Yeah.
Like, for personality?
If you can get his last name right, sure.
Michael. I'll just go with Michael. Because I know that's his first name. So, like, for me, like, Michael had this brooding, like, depressed personality type as the Thing with this guy, with Ebon, I'm thinking that's how you pronounce his name, felt more hearty. Like he accepted his heart.
Right.
Wow. He felt heartfelt. He felt like
he definitely was. He embraced it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like the clobbering time joke and stuff that he had. Like there was a lot of things that he really embraced.
Felt like,
I didn't want him to feel sad about it. I do feel like that's something we may visit like in the follow-up. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he'll talk more about it as time goes on. In this movie, that story for him would have derailed everything else that happened. There's just no way to tell that story.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. Like, there's definitely hints at it, especially in that first act. But again, that's one of the things about just jumping. What can I say? No, I won't say that because that's spoiler alert. But like we are jumping into a story that's already established, so. He's probably dealt with a lot of those feelings.
Well, like the Thing specifically, most of the stuff we would have got from him would have been in those 4 years because he would have been dealing with all that. But we jump ahead. So as far as we know now, maybe he's already emotionally gone through that. We just didn't see that part of it. So, all right. So now we're going to jump into the villains of the movie. So we have Ralph Ineson as Galactus, and absolutely fucking incredible. Visually, everything they did using the actual costume, large, like oversized set pieces to minimize the VFX they had to do. I mean,
in the perspective on too.
Yeah, I mean, just like seeing how unstoppably powerful this character is
and
it took your breath away in the movie. Mm-hmm. This is a character where we're talking like Thanos level threat. This character is insanely powerful, And we're talking about a team that had been established for 4 years by themselves, taking on a threat like Galactus. This character, I can't sing the praises enough. His voice was crazy. The costume was right. The design was right. They didn't over-design it. It literally looked like Galactus to me. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, 100%. What did you guys think about Galactus?
I thought like the design was cool. The perspective of him, when he's like large, and how the perspective
when he's large.
Of,
pause. Oh, no.
of when they're like looking up at him, the perspective of that is like on point, where it doesn't feel off. Where they basically show you the perspective of actually how tall he is compared to the little guys called the Fantastic Four. So it felt like it felt like he was a threat to be reckoned with.
Right. What about you, Darren?
No, I liked him a lot. I can already tell there's going to be people that are mad with some of the things they do in this movie. I can already just see the tweet now. I liked it enough. I thought he was pretty good. I'm also not the biggest Galactus guy just in general. Like, I think the concept of him as a character is always more interesting than what he actually is, Like, he is a national disaster more than a villain himself, and that's the whole point, right? Yeah. So, I'll never like him more than, like,
it's hard to personalize him because of what he represents. He's a celestial character. Yeah.
I think he did good for what he's supposed to be, even though he's not my favorite. But like, we've also been just waiting so long for that character that it is cool to be like, okay, we finally got a good version of Galactus.
I mean, if you've been waiting for a proper Galactus, this is it.
I mean, the bar was incredibly low for 20 years.
Okay, so again, too many spoilers to talk about with him, so we're going to wait till Monday to dive further into Galactus. This next character, also a lot of spoilers, but I need to clear the air on it. So, talk about Shalabal, Silver Surfer. Now, I think the visual effects are fantastic, so I'm not going to even dive into like that versus the other Silver Surfer. Like, there's no comparison in my mind. I think they did a great job with this. Absolutely terrifyingly powerful character. Like, just like Silver Surfer should be. Literally horror movie level stuff. Some of the stuff they do with the surfboard are so incredibly satisfying in the movie. Just so great. The way she views the world, terrifying, but also endearing at the same time because of a backstory that we can't discuss here because it's super spoilery. But I absolutely understand why, in the context of the story they're telling in this movie, why they went with Shalabal instead of Norin Rad.
Yes.
There's a very specific reason why, and if you change that, it breaks the movie.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk more about that, but literally it would be spoilers. But I just want to say this. They didn't arbitrarily change her for wokeness. They didn't say, oh, we're putting a woman in this because we want to make Silver Surfer a woman. No, there is literally a half dozen reasons why Shalabal is the Silver Surfer in this movie, opposed to Norin Rad, and it all makes sense. 100% makes sense in narrative. And again, I could name every single one of them, but they're all spoilery. But just know that when you go to see this movie, pay attention. There are parallels that exist in the stories between Shalabal and the Fantastic Four that make that all work. There's stuff that happens between her and a member of the team that makes that all work. There's her relationship with Galactus that makes that all work. There's all these things there. I loved her in this role. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with Norin Rad in the main continuity now that we've had Shalabal, because I do feel like that will eventually happen and we will end up seeing that. And they're going to have to tell, they're going to have to tell Norin, hey, we know Shalabal. You know Shalabal? We know Shalabal. I feel like that's the conversation they're going to have. But any thoughts on this character? I mean, I thought she was fantastic in the movie.
Yeah, you can't fully talk about her until we can fully dive in. But yeah, like I think especially what they give her in that second act, there's some really, really good action set pieces with that character that I thought were just really awesome, and I think, Silver Surfer is another character people have been wanting to see. Not to say that the old one was bad, because it wasn't. I thought it was pretty good, but like more modern, you can do more with the character. Especially her connection with a very specific character, I'd argue is the heart of the movie.
Absolutely, but I also believe that's the reason why she exists in the movie as the character she is, because of that story. I will not disagree with this. This might be a hot take. I think this is true, though. I think that was one of the best elements of this film, and it makes sense. Like, this is why when I saw some videos popping up that were like, the movie was good, but I still don't like the female Silver Surfer. You can't like this movie and dislike her. It is impossible. She is a core component to how good this movie is, specifically because of who she is in the movie.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Impossible. Let's take a look here. I just want to pull this up before we give our final thoughts on this. This is where it sits on the good old Rotten Tomatoes list right now. 88% critics, 92% fans, and we're looking at 231 reviews, which means the meter is not going to move more than a couple of percentages either way.
Yeah.
It's pretty much locked in at this point, which is why it's certified fresh. I don't base my judgment on this, but I wanted to bring this up sort of just as an example of what I think we're getting. So Superman got really high praise. The scores were good on this. We get Fantastic Four so far getting really high praise. We get good scores on this. I think it's safe to say that we should be supporting both of these movies.
Yeah. Not to disclose Thunderbolts as well, which, maybe didn't do well financially, but people who loved it. And I think I'll say it, and like, this is something we talk about like at the end of the year once we get everything. I think this might be one of the best years for comic book projects of all time. Like, I know, like, this is obviously people love Thunderbolts, people loved. I know not everyone here loves Superman, but like, I think the majority of people, at least casual audiences, loved it. Spider-Man came out this year, people loved it. Daredevil was a bit mixed for people, but it feels like most, at least casual audiences, loved that. Ironheart's a bit mixed, but I feel like most people who actually watched it liked it. Invincible came out this year. People love that. Not to mention we have, and of course these could be bad, but we have Peacemaker, we have Wonder Man, we have Black Panther, we have Zombies, we have, like, it's a really good year for comic book TV and shows and movies and shows. So I'm really excited. I
would agree with this too. Even I think Cap 2 was good. It wasn't great. It was good. I think the third act was a little fucked up, but everything else was good.
That's the outlier.
To Darren's point, especially coming off of last year, where it was definitely not the best year for this particular genre. So I think this was kind of the rebound that it needed.
Yeah. And like, here's what I'll say about Cat 4, because I'm not a huge Cat 4 fan. I think I've disliked it the like more I've went from it. But here's what I say: if that's the worst, if that's our bottom, we are doing good.
Yeah, we're fine.
I will take a fine movie over last year's Madam Web, which was our
Madam Web, Venom 3, Craven.
Oh God, I forgot about that movie.
I
forgot about Craven.
A little bit more than
I tried to.
I would say I talked about this in my quick non-spoiler short that I did today. This movie, for me, it was really tough for me points wise, because I take off points for stuff that I don't like, and that's how I determine. I start out at 10 and then subtract, right? The only issue I had with this movie really was the Ben Grimm storyline. I know there's other little nitpicks I have, but in terms of like the movie itself, like just as for entertainment value, the only thing that ticked off for me was Ben Grimm. So I gave it like a 9.8 out of 10.
Wow.
I mean, I really love this movie. And because some of the people that were with me said they loved Superman more, but they still enjoyed this one. But the thing is, we've enjoyed both movies.
Yes.
Like we've liked both of these movies. So for me, that tells me that we've had this has been a good month for Marvel and DC, in my opinion.
Yes.
Regardless of what the numbers look like at the end. Regardless of what the sales are for this.
Yeah, no, to like put in perspective, my number 3, 4, and 5 are Thunderbolts, Superman, and Fantastic Four. Like they are really, like, to me, neck and neck, and I think they're all kind of in that same spot of like all amazing, but all kind of like little things that maybe, you know, can lower it or, you know, higher it and stuff like that. But yeah, like again, I do really think we are, and maybe not financially, but I think in terms of quality, I think we are heading into a golden era of superhero content with James Gunn being like, hey, this is what I want to do, and focusing on quality. And, you know, obviously we can argue that, but also Kevin Feige being like, listen, we're trying to save some, you know, we're trying to change how we do things.
Right.
I think both having that mindset right now is really, really good for just this genre as a whole.
Yeah. So you said you do out of 5 on Letterboxd. What would you put this out of 5 if you were?
I gave it 4 out of 5. It's not a perfect movie for me, but I think it's pretty damn good. Damn good. I would not complain with a movie like this.
What about you, 3Dub?
As I basically my ranking is cringe. Like, I hate cringe. Like, if there's a cringe scene, I dock it by 0.1. So each cringe 0.1. Guess what? No cringe. So
no cringe.
10 out of 10.
10?
10 out of 10.
Wow. All right, I've got it. My cat is doing something, so I need to step away for a moment. So chit chat for a bit. I will be right back.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's on his docket, and if it is, we could just say it again. But Eyes of Wakanda got pushed up this week.
Yeah.
I thought was very interesting. Now that comes out in a week. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but they're not marketing it.
There's no trailer yet, which pisses me. It does indeed piss me off a little bit.
Is it another one and done TV show?
Yeah.
So
I think. I mean, I don't know if they're going to try and do more seasons or whatever. I doubt it, I guess. But I think they're dropping all 4 episodes at once. I'm pretty sure. It seems like that's what they're trying to market it as. I guess it depends how long the episodes are, because me and my mom were talking, and like she's like, if they're all 20 minutes long, just make a movie. That's like 80 minutes. That's shorter than like Fantastic Four was. And it's like, yeah, like I'm hoping there are going to be these like, you know, 40, 50-minute episodes, but I don't see that being the case.
Are they pushing out just like they did with Ironheart?
It seems worse. It seems worse than Ironheart.
All drop?
Yeah. And like at least Ironheart had a trailer like at least, you know, a couple weeks in advance. And again, I know it's animation and stuff like that, but also I don't think it being animation should change how we treat it. I like, this is the first ever, I could be missing something, that there's a Prime 616 MCU show that's animated. Like everything else has been like, you know, what if stories, you know, like what if Spider-Man, X-Men, those are all kind of MCU, but they're on the side, right? They're doing their own thing. This is canon. This is 100% canon to the MCU. And it kind of feels like they're treating it like shit. One of our friends said earlier to like debuttal me, it was like, yeah, but they don't have a lot of money right now. They probably don't have time. And I'm like, that's fair. That's 100% fair. But that's just a greater problem with the current slate. It's like, well, we shouldn't have got it to this point. It shouldn't, like, if you don't have enough money to promote it, then you shouldn't have made this much content to start with, I guess would be the overall thing. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think we're going to be limited on TV shows where it's just focusing back on the MCU, like movie-wise.
Movies? Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of like that better than TV shows. I get there's different demographics, or some like TV shows, some like movies, some like both. But it does get a little like overwhelming when there's like 50 projects in one month.
No, that's fair. And like, you know, this year was very overwhelming because they've been waiting to put all the stuff out, and now it's like, yeah, there's one every month. Eric, I'm sorry if I stole one of your topics today, but I just brought up how Eyes of Wakanda got pushed up 3 weeks to now it's coming out next week instead.
I didn't see that. You didn't steal it because I didn't see it. I've avoided all social media until like today, so I haven't seen anything. So
yeah, it came out officially today. It moved from the end of August to August 1st, which is 1 week from tomorrow, and there's still no trailer, no official trailer.
I think this is another case of them trying to just offload something because I think they're very comfortable with what their plans are post Fantastic Four, and Eyes of Wakanda is not part of that. I mean, I still think they're totally on board with Black Panther 3 and Ryan Coogler. Like they're totally on board with that.
Yeah.
But I think all of this other stuff is like we just need to unload it. Basically.
Yeah, that's why I've been thinking like they're going to stop doing like TV shows and basically focus mainly on movies where we only get like one.
They're not going to completely stop.
Well, I'm like 1 or 2 TV shows a year, but like not like overwhelm us.
When I say woke, I say it ironically. It's like I'm not saying it as like somebody who is using it as a pejorative. So, let's see. $2 super chat from Ruder. What time is it, Eric? That was
dinner time.
That was just a few minutes ago. Actually, it was 12:30. That was 12 minutes ago.
Pizza time. Let's go.
12 minutes ago. So, actually, fun story was today we had a pizza party and they were like, "Where are you going to order from?" I was like, "You know where I'm ordering from. Domino's. You know where I'm with Domino's." Because we bought 5 pizzas and paid less than $40. I said that's why I order from Domino's. It's good pizza and it's not expensive. So, anyway, I didn't really have much else topic wise because again I just didn't want to get on social media today because of Fantastic Four. But Jake wanted to do show and tell at some point. Did you have anything you wanted to show off or no?
He fell asleep.
No, I'm right here. Not asleep.
Eric, if you want, I can send you a few things that came out.
Yeah, if you got some stuff, because again, I avoided social media.
Yeah, no,
so.
I've got stuff like all around here.
Okay, I do have one thing I want to show off that I show off often that I think is pretty funny.
I've got one that Darren knows about, and the rest are probably going to be surprises.
Serenity says, turn up your mic, Jake.
Here, what if I just angle it different? Is that better? Because it's the same as we've been doing it these past few nights. Yeah.
All right. So we got Aztec Batman Clash.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
All right. Whoops. Hold on. Take that out. What is this one? I got signed out of Twitter somehow. I'm not signing in. It's fine. Leave it as it is. Who needs to sign into Twitter anyway? Happy Gilmore 2 is tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's that soon?
Yep.
Okay, so who's looking forward to Happy Gilmore 2? Anybody?
My dad is over the moon.
I mean, I love part 1, but I don't know.
That is his Superman of this year. He's like, oh, I cannot wait. Like he is counting down the days.
Wow.
Or two.
All right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put up the poll for tonight.
Oh, were there any lists tonight, by the way?
No. I didn't have a chance to organize anything. So we were just going to do show and tell, and I figured it was going to be a shorter stream. So that's why we've got Darren sent a few topics. We'll look at these, but after that, it's pretty much just kind of fly by the seat of our pants.
Cool.
So let's see. You pick. All right. Any suggestions? Just say them out loud. Top 5. What?
Can we do another nostalgia one? Like maybe
just say it. What do you want?
Classic TV shows.
Classic TV shows. All right.
Let's do best 80s movies.
Okay.
All right. 2 more.
Favorite fight scenes in superhero movies.
All right.
Or TV shows.
Yeah, that's fine.
Top 5 superhero fight scenes. We'll just do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
He's gonna pick Smallville. That's why he tricked you into doing that, and you took a bait.
Yeah, the fight scenes look like dog water.
Who says I'm doing Smallville?
You like Smallville.
Damn it, is there are you putting a 4th one in?
Yeah, hold on.
You're gonna need to do another bonus stream soon where we just get a lot of these topics out.
Well, after this week, we're gonna have plenty of time because I don't think a lot of news is gonna come out after Comic-Con.
Yeah.
What happened to my poll?
What was the 4th one you put in?
Hold on.
Right,
there it goes. Okay, so it's top 5 classic TV shows, top 5 best 80s movies, top 5 superhero fight scenes, and I put top 5 worst live action supervillains.
Ooh.
Oh,
Cicada 1, Cicada 2.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Lex Luthor in this movie, Lex Luthor in that movie, Lex Luthor in the other movie.
All right, let's calm down, Jake.
All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna jump into this trailer, which is the Aztec Batman Clash of the Empires. This is September 19th on digital, but it doesn't say what platform. Do we know what platform?
Probably I think it's just all of them. It's like VOD. It's just like
Okay,
you,
all right.
or
Got it.
on like DVD or something.
Okay. Let's give it a go. Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, that looked pretty badass.
I will say the first half I was like, eh, and then the back half with all the villains was like,
Well,
all
the
right.
villains are so weird. Like we had the Pilgrim Joker, which looks crazy. Like, wow.
I mean,
All right.
it's so very clearly an Elseworlds type thing.
I don't think that's a bad thing though. I think
No, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
And rated R too is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there aren't that many rated R Batman projects.
Oh wow. So Jason Moore is going to return as Curtis Holt on the Punisher special.
Curtis Hoyle?
Hoyle, is that how it's pronounced?
Curtis
Hoyle?
Holt is Arrow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. My bad. 3Dub, are you still excited for this special?
It's going to be like R-rated, so it's not going to be like PG-13 whitewashed down.
Neither was Daredevil Born Again, but all right.
No, Daredevil Born Again was fine.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is when it goes to Spider-Man.
I think
Well, they made Wolverine work in PG-13 for over a decade. Punisher will be fine.
I don't want rated R Spider-Man. I never want rated R Spider-Man.
I want rated R Punisher, not
So wait,
Spider-Man.
so 3Dub, if they did rated R Spider-Man, would you be okay with that? If
Like
Punisher was in it?
I want his scenes to be PG-13, but Punisher scenes to be R-rated.
That's not how it works.
There is only one story. There's only one
two
story you
different-
can adapt. There's one story you can adapt that makes Spider-Man rated R, and that's if Sony's never going to have the balls to do this. But if they adapt Kraven's Last Hunt, where Spider-Man is basically the villain of that story, that's the only way you could make him rated R in a movie and get away with it.
Yeah.
It's basically two different tones. Punisher is gruesome. Spider-Man's light. He doesn't like basically do what Punisher does. I mean, he gets close, but still, he doesn't do it.
So this is season 2 of Percy Jackson. A lot of people love that first season. So is season 2 continuing the story chronologically, or is this a jump ahead? Or
This is book 2. Each season is like a different.
so it's an actual full book each season.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes, this is Sea of Monsters.
right.
Sea of Monsters is the shortest book too.
A great stirring is underway.
So much older, man. It's crazy.
Okay, hold on. I gotta pause.
Yeah,
this.
he's like
This
a
is one of the
good
things
bit
that
older.
drives me up the wall with these kinds of novels, because like the first Harry Potter movies are a good example of this. Like the actors get so much older.
Yeah.
I feel like they should film as much of this as they can while they're still at a certain age before they release the other seasons.
They tried.
I'd say with those movies, they were pretty good with that, though, because by the
Not
time
if you watch the first one and the last one, they were supposed to
Right,
take place
but I mean-
relatively close together, and it's
Right.
like, what are
Get
we doing?
ready for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
by the time it got to the last one, they were playing characters that were like 17, 18. The actors were only like 21, 22. It wasn't that big of a difference.
In this show's defense, though, they tried their best. Like it started at the end of last year and it's coming out.
Right.
So, like, there's only a 1-year break with a writer strike. Considering they did a very good job, but even like, I dare you, like, look at the first episode of season 1 and then the last episode of season 1. They grow just in filming of the show.
Oh my god! Okay,
Like, it-
well,
They could not help it.
War is inevitable.
Over.
There are forces more powerful than the will of the gods, my son.
I forgot about him.
I know.
Lord.
Brace yourself, Perseus.
Look, Peter, we all know that last year you did
This
something
guy's so funny.
cool.
I love
Oh,
that.
Honestly, I
Lord.
don't even remember what it was.
We're headed into the sea of monsters. You sure you're okay to do this?
This is the thing.
Let's go do the impossible.
It's December. Okay.
Liu Kang? Kidding.
What?
Okay. Looks good to me. Let's see here. What else we got?
Definitely be better than the last time Sea of Monsters was adapted.
Yeah. That's my only reference to that story. And yeah, it was.
The book is actually really good.
Yeah. I will say I saw, speaking of this Avatar, the Avatar trailer played in front of Fantastic Four for me.
It did for me too.
Fire and Ash. It's going to be another multi-billion-dollar movie for sure, based on what I saw in the trailer. But anyway, first look at the new Avatar: The Last Airbender sequel series, Avatar: Seven Havens. It will consist of 26 half-hour episodes over 2 seasons. Still, though,
So
that's
third
good.
season.
Because wasn't Korra like 10 episodes a season or something? It was.
Yeah, but they had 4 seasons.
They had
this
4
is
seasons.
only 2 seasons.
Oh, it's locked in at 2 seasons.
Yes,
Okay.
it's like this is the entire series. So this will be the shortest Avatar show to date.
Okay. I thought there was a potential for something more than 2, but
They have said right now it's like this is the whole story
Yeah.
basically.
follows earthbending twins after a world-shattering disaster where one discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. Okay. Chat. I see that some people already it's going to be bad, and then people are like, I can't wait for this. So that's kind of funny.
I mean, it's made by the creators of Avatar, so I mean,
No, no, this is my most anticipated. Outside of maybe X-Men '97, this is probably my most anticipated show going.
And
forward.
all those people saying it's going to be bad? Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on what?
I'd argue there's never, live action aside, there's never been a bad Avatar series. Like Korra
Separate
has
them,
Korra has some things you can complain
Korra
about.
has a season that I don't like, but I like the show overall.
No, oh my gosh! So season 3 of Korra is on par with the original show to me.
Yeah. It's a little rough in some parts, but I think overall it's a strong series.
Yeah.
Look, Chris says, well, Korra was trash overall. Well, there we
Nope.
go. Eric says it's going to be woke. JK. Being set after Korra in apocalyptic setting sounds cool. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the world looks like after Korra because that was pretty far along in advancement for technology and stuff. So this is going to be quite interesting.
I'm going to have to rewatch a number of these seasons.
I'm going to go back and do a full rewatching of Avatar and Korra again before this
I haven't
comes
seen
out.
these in a while.
I really
we know when this is coming out?
We don't have an official date yet, but I think it's sometime next year.
Okay.
Is what I would assume. I am really I think there's a lot of concepts that could be really cool here. Even just based on this photo, I have a feeling that the futuristic world that we once saw may not look the same anymore. I think whatever this apocalypse thing was maybe tore down a lot of the advancements that they had built up to, which I think is very interesting. I also think them being twins is interesting because this is either going to be one of them is the Avatar and the other isn't, which is a fascinating
but they're both Earthbenders though, so that's the thing is they both are Earthbenders, but one of them is going to be the Avatar. So,
but there's always going to be that thing is I could have if I was just a couple seconds earlier, I could have been the Avatar, or do you do some weird stuff where it's they're both the Avatar or something?
What if they're both the Avatar and they can only bend 2 elements each? So one gets
they have to work together would be kind of sick. That'd be kind of awesome.
What if they pull a Superman and Lois where one starts as the Avatar and then the other one goes into it?
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. You got one more thing here. Oh, this is funny. Airbud returns.
Oh, Lord.
In theaters, summer 2026. The dog is dunking on him. Airbud.
Oh, fuck.
This is too funny.
Definitely a different dog, though.
Airbud was a blast.
This franchise was crazy because they had 3 Airbuds, and then they did 15 Buddy movies, and then Buddy movies had 2 spin-offs. They had 20 films in this franchise.
They also had snow buddies, Santa buddies.
Yeah, no,
That's
again,
too
there's
funny.
this is a 20-film franchise at this point.
That's hilarious.
I just hope this dog doesn't talk because that kind of
Wait. Did the dog talk in one of them?
Basically, when they started to spin off into the buddies, basically they start talking. But
It's like
the
an inner
originals,
monologue
the
for 'em,
originals,
They caught him monologuing.
the originals are
Side
basically non-talking dogs.
That actually fits here, Darren.
No, I'll be there day one.
Let me see. I gotta find that trailer. Somebody's asking for the Invincible game trailer. So let me.
Didn't we already look at that?
No.
It's
I
a
mean,
new
yes.
one, right?
We did one previously, but there's a new one.
Oh, okay. Did anybody watch that fucking Bambi horror movie?
Nope.
I might.
No.
I haven't yet, but I might.
Yeah.
After what Jordan said, I might have to go check it out.
Yeah, I don't know. That looked like one pissed off deer.
If the hunter doesn't go, oh dear, then it's a waste of money.
Darren's like, if this one dad joke is not in the movie, then I will have wasted my money.
All right. Fighting Games Daily has it, so let's do this here. All right, here we go. Oh, it is Battle Beast! Oh my god, my favorite character from Invincible.
Oh,
Finally,
wow.
a worthy adversary.
Is that Travis Willingham?
Poor Rack. Jesus.
Come to me.
I think he got it now.
I think you got him.
Is that a missile?
We are not finished.
I mean, Battle Beast is one of the strongest characters in the Invincible universe.
It's hammer time.
It looks more like a claw.
Jeez, there's so much blood in this game. It's like... You're useless! Is this a mobile game?
No.
No, it's a console.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it looks really good for a mobile game.
I think it's a really
Consider this.
Fatalities?
I mean, that's kind of a thing now with like most
It
games.
gives me a little.
No, I mean, he
Atari
just
Street
like fucking murdered everything.
All right, so we're gonna do. I have one thing I want to show off, and then we can all pick like one thing we want to show off as a show and tell, and then we're gonna figure out what is gonna win the poll tonight. Okay. So I'm gonna do mine first. This is one that I've shown off quite a few times, but people forget that I have it. It was given to me as a gift like 6 years ago, and it is an action figure
Okay.
of me with a Domino's pizza inside the box.
Wow.
And I can change out all the emblems. I have all the different character emblems from different comic books in it. My power is the shirt. My shirt allows me to change powers. And then on the back it says, right here, what superpower would you like to have? And I say, all of them.
Pretty
I'll take
awesome.
them all. So this is my show and tell object. It's the Eric Reloaded action figure. So there's that. I know 3W, you probably don't have a lot of stuff laying
Oh,
around.
I do.
Do you
have
really?
one. I have one.
Okay. All right.
That will show.
So, yeah, do you want to show next or does Jake
Yeah,
want to
sure.
show next?
I'll go last.
Okay. What is this a Smallville, the Clark Kent Funko? Isn't
Yeah.
that worth a lot of money?
Shock,
Not this one.
surprise.
I feel like there's one that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, that would be the one that is worth a lot of money is actually basically he's tied to a cross and he's like shirtless with an S on it on his chest. That is like $200. I'm not paying that.
Okay. All right. So are we waiting for Darren? Is Darren getting something? Or did he just go AFK? Hold on. I didn't read the private chat. Let's see. He didn't say. All right.
Sorry, I'm here. What's up?
Okay. Were you showing something or no?
Yeah. I just took a photo of my Arrowverse Funko collection.
Oh, okay. This I gotta see. I have a lot of Funkos, but not all the Arrowverse ones. So
I have a lot of Funkos too, but they're so like hardly any of them are like grouped together. They're all from random.
So things. The I have the really expensive Supergirl Funko, the one that was like a limited edition. I think it was a Walmart exclusive.
Yeah.
I have that
Darren,
one.
I think Darren has. Correct me if I'm wrong, Darren. Don't you have like the Comic-Con exclusive Killer Frost one?
I do, but I took it out of the box.
Oh no!
Why?
I take my shit out of the box because
I take some shit out of the box, like you can see over there. Some obviously,
Can
all
you
that
call
shit's not
yourself
boxed,
a collector?
But I keep all my Funkos in the thing.
When did I ever say that, Three Dubs? I stand by that. My room is not a toy store. It's not a. I like to have my.
Oh no! This looks incredible. All right, here we go. Look at this. Holy shit.
A couple of those are like from the comics that I just kind of like subbed in. So like like Hal Jordan there, it's not Diggle or anything, but it's kind of like Superman, the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a Comic Martian Manhunter too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, is that fucking blood work in the back?
It sure is.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Got Zoom and Thawne.
Who's the bald guy with the beard?
I think that's Tobias Whale.
Tobias Whale.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought it was Lex for a second.
I have another Flash as well. I have this Flash as well with him running.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the Supergirl that's like flying, where she's kind of up flying, that's the one that's worth a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. All right. And Jake, you said you wanted to go last, so what are you showing us?
Yeah. So Darren probably knows where this is going.
Oh no.
Before that, however, I will say something that was a little bit of a recent addition, and I'm just going to show this off because I feel like it. I got that poster signed by Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Risa Fons, and Dennis Leary.
Oh my god, that is my favorite Peter Parker Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield's.
Yeah, so that one is pretty cool, but that's not even the best thing. The best thing's right here. So it's not really one thing, it's a bunch of things all related to one thing.
You said Darren knows where this is going, so I'm curious.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely does. I've talked about this a lot before, but I've met a number of the different actors and casting creators from X-Men the Animated Series at a bunch of different cons before, and I've got a bunch of different prints from them that they've signed over the years. So there's Wolverine. Who's next? That's Rogue.
Yeah.
Storm. Sunspot. It's upside down. I just realized. Beast. Original Jubilee. That's Allison Court.
Pretty cool.
And then from the one episode of the 90s series that Miss Marvel was in, that's the actress who voiced her.
Such a good episode.
Oh, it's one of the best. And not only those prints, but also back in the day, I managed to get a hold of some of those collector cards too.
Oh no! Look!
That just have Is
this a running thing here?
Yep, it sure is, and I am committed to it. So here are these little collector cards. It's got essentially everybody that was there at that event, even the Miss Marvel card way back here in the back, if I can get it. That's not Miss Marvel. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? Anyway, okay, yeah, there it is.
There it is, okay.
A little bit of a rare one. And the kind of the pride and joy of all of this is the first con that I went to where this was a major theme at. I met the people who were the showrunners, creators behind the original show. And I got all three writers to sign a copy of the script from the pilot.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so as far as
Anonymous says you should get those cards graded.
Yeah, as far as collections go, this is my pride and joy.
That's crazy.
I think I've showed you this before, Jake, but I have this original
Yeah, you did show me that
action figure. That's great.
I mean,
I haven't opened this one, but I've opened everything else.
Jake's like, you could send it over as like a gift or something. That would work.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got this thing too that was actually
To me, my X-Men.
And of course, this hat that I'm wearing was a souvenir from that same event.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they were talking to me and they said, "Hey, we haven't managed to sell any of these hats all day. Do you just want one for free?" And I went, "Sure, okay."
We're going to end the poll. See what we got here. The winner is, with 48%, which is an overwhelming amount, top 5 classic TV shows.
What defines classic?
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Wait, whose
Get
category
smart.
was this?
That was mine.
3Dub.
Okay,
Like,
so 3Dub, what is your criteria for classic TV shows?
Classic TV shows are anything from 30 to end of time classic. Like,
What?
basically, Get Smart is a classic TV show.
Wait, no. Like, what year is the
I-
cutoff year? Like, what year or is not when we stop? Like, 2000, 2010? Like, what would you consider to be
70s when we don't go any further.
So you would say this? So 1979?
Yeah, basically from
Okay.
1969 and down.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm reading Serenity's comment.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I mean, in past streams, Serenity has said that I'm basically the white version.
Yeah. I don't know if I pulled this up already, but yeah, we watched that. So I don't remember if I pulled this one up.
So what's the year?
1969 and under
Yeah,
is what 3Dub said.
basically, and the cutoff for under is 1900s. Like you won't see.
Well, I don't think there was any TV shows prior to
Exactly. There's only a select few.
You are not good at this.
All right. So
I'll wing it when I get there. It's fine.
yeah, it's gonna be fun because
I Love Lucy.
I might remember a lot of these things because I grew up in a household where that was what was on reruns.
I
when
mean,
was young,
I
so-
watched a lot of that shit, and I served as the remote control back in the day. So.
Also, Nick at Night was a thing for me, so I remember a lot of those things from Nick
Yeah.
at Night. So
I grew
Dalton
up
says
with a lot
3Dub. Why? Well, the people voted for it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Classic
Yeah,
TV.
I grew up
ask-
with a lot of like
ask-
Happy Days and
Yeah,
That's the
Dennis the
48%
Menace
of the people
and
that
Andy
voted.
Griffin.
yeah. 48% of the votes was that. And we had
What?
over
Three
35 votes.
Stooges.
What's
Three
the cut?
Stooges.
DJ Eric, what's the cutoff for your? What would you say classic TV shows?
I would say I would go all the way up to the 90s probably.
So let's
'cause I
do
feel-
90s and to like 60s, 90s.
Oh, so you're changing it to my criteria
Yeah, basically like that. So I give
Okay.
more like.
because I feel like
Variety.
70s and 80s also has classic TV.
Yes.
So
For sure.
there's a lot of great. So like 1990 and under for classic TV. So I voted worst supervillains. Well, some of these things come back, King. Some of these things come back.
I was about to say, like, because of my, and I'm not trying to be like,
Well, Dalton, we just changed it. Now it's up to 1990. So maybe you'll feel better about it now.
I'm not trying to like brag or be pretentious with this, but when it comes to like older ones, like early 1920s and things like that,
Uh-huh.
like you probably would, but I would probably know who the most of that category because I got exposed to a lot of it in film school, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
watched a lot of it,
probably.
and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
this is a thing that exists.
See, look, Jason agrees with me. What the fuck, 3Dub? It's 2025. Classic as anything 90s and before. Yeah.
It feels weird to say that, but
Anyway.
it makes me really it.
But there's no cutoff in the beginning. So 3Dub's
You know
like 1990s. You can go as
Everyone's
far
cla-
back as to like 1900.
God
Funny
damn,
is-
Jeffrey.
What's funny is everyone's our classic starts different because we're at a different age, and
Ugh.
Yeah.
Darren's classics doesn't like is further down.
I grew up with like what my grandma watched as a kid, or
Yeah.
like what my grandma grew up on, like Andy Griffin Show and Happy Days and Dennis the Menace and
Yeah.
a lot of those shows, Gidget and stuff like
I mean,
that.
things like the Brady Bunch and
Yeah.
stuff like that is all classic
Yeah.
TV.
I grew up with
Shadows.
a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Twilight Zone.
All right, with that being said, we are ending a little bit early tonight, but the stream was focused on the Fantastic Four stuff. We'll be back on Monday with a spoiler review, and we have special guest on Monday. So right now, as far as I know, Ronan Unchained is going to be with us, and Glimmercast is going to be with us. So they'll both be with us on Monday for a spoiler review of Fantastic Four. Also, if we get any news like from Comic-Con that's really good, we'll also discuss that on Monday as well. So, but thanks everybody for the super chats. I do appreciate it. And we're going to jump out of here. And thank you everyone for being here. Jake, Darren, and 3Dub. And no Lance tonight, surprisingly. He wasn't even in the chat. So
He's at Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I think he just landed like a lot ago.
Well, we'll probably see him live streaming from his phone or something like that. Anyway, we'll jump out of here and we'll see everybody on Monday. Bye.